Good afternoon, I'm Ollie from Morgan Marine, and today we're going to take you through the brand new Merryfisher 1095 Fly Series 2. It takes all the great features from the Series 1, evolves them a little bit, and there's plenty new designs and options as we walk through. The first thing before we walk along the boat is you'll notice the evolution of the front sunbed. So we've got the deep walk round, we've got a much improved front sunbed area, and there is an option as well to make that an XXL sunpad by dropping in an infill cushion into the middle. The rails feel higher because of that recessed deck, and it feels like very safe when you're up the bow. We've got slightly bigger hull windows, and as we walk down, a lot of you will realise that this is a brand new hull design as well. So it's changed the way that it's been manufactured, it's lighter, it's stiffer, and ultimately it's stronger. So we'll expect this boat now to get on the plane slightly earlier than its predecessor, and we'll still expect around 40 knots performance overall. We've got the large side door, and one of the new features, which you'll have seen on other models, is this drop-down side terrace, which will open up when we're on the water. On the back here, we've got the twin Yamaha F300s. So as we're saying, we'll expect around 40 knots top speed. Now these are the new steer-by-wire engines. So you can see they've got a really neat rigging tube. So one single rigging tube. The older style engines and other manufacturers often have hydraulic lines running through. It's all done by an electrical loom on the Yamaha system. So it gives you a very neat install. Stepping on board, you see we've got nice easy access. On the port side, we have got a boarding door which we can open up. So if you're the other side too, it also offers you nice easy access to step on board. We've got this nice big cockpit area here and easy access down the starboard side deck. Once we're inside and walking around, there's an option for 2 tables out here, which we have got. We've just stowed them away. And the Flybridge ladder also lifts up and stows away as well. Having that stowed out the way obviously opens up the cockpit a little bit more, but also allows you access to the large storage locker we've got under the floor. What you can see either side in that storage locker is your twin fuel tanks. They're totally independent systems with their own tank, own filters, and own battery. So each engine is fully independent from one another. The fuel tank capacity on these boats has now been increased to 370 litres a side, which offers you an improved cruising range. The other changes in this rear cockpit are the easy access seats and easy access storage lockers. So as before, these seats are still on a sliding mechanism, so you can slide the seat forwards to lift the engines up. Now, the latches have changed slightly and they're now much easier to move the seat. And that'll latch forwards to allow you to trim the engines right up out of the water. With the newly designed rear bench seat, the cushions have been modified and they're now easy access for your storage. So you don't have to remove the cushion every time you want to pop something in and out the rear bench seat locker. We've also got storage under the port side seat. And as we mentioned earlier, that's then your large port side door. The canopy is a full wraparound canopy, so you can fully enclose it. The one thing to mention is on the port side, by the door, that canopy is zipped. So you can zip that little section up, roll it up, and then that allows you the easy access on and off. As we head inside, you'll notice, as before, we've still got the wide opening doors. We've got a new pop-up cockpit galley that allows you to extend the galley, and there's an extra piece of Corian worktop that clips in here. And underneath that, we've got our battery isolators. So what we've got here is we've got engine battery 1, engine battery 2, and then domestic bank. As we're saying, all 3 are split from each other, which allows you good independence. So if you're anchored up for a day and you're running all the gear on the boat, all the lights, 12-volt pumps, etc., to pump paddle boards up, that will drain your house battery, but leave your engine batteries untouched. That means when you come and twist them on to fire your engines up, you've still got plenty of power. As we mentioned earlier, the whole boat's been redesigned and tweaked slightly. So we've got a new galley area here. So we've got a twin burner stove and the sink in a similar design to what we had before. The Korean worktops feel really nice, they're a good weight. Underneath we've got our cutlery drawer, which is nice and large. We've got an integrated microwave oven, bin, extra storage area, another cutlery or storage drawer, the first fridge with the newly integrated wine holder, that's nice. And we also have a second fridge down below, which is an additional extra, which we'll show you, which is located in the third cabin. Another storage area here. And finally, one final large storage area under the helm seat. The saloon, as before, still has a folding table. So the table will fold back, which allows you the co-pilot seat, a nice comfy handrail. You can see that the finish has really been worked on, so we've got a much nicer trim than we had before. There is an option for a TV of up to 32 inches to go in here as well. And the boat just generally has a brighter area feel and certainly an uplift in quality and the materials used. New helm seat is on a pivot. That will allow you to turn the helm seat round and join the conversation in the saloon, acting as an extra seat. It's also adjustable on a sliding mechanism, so you can slide the seat forwards and backwards to adjust your ideal position at the wheel, but also slide it back, allowing you nice easy access out the large side helm door we've got here. At the helm itself, we'll run through a lot of this on the sea test, but we've got Sleipner bow thruster, Yamaha CL5 display, fully integrated autopilot, Garmin 1223 chart plotter. You've got all your switches here for your controls, navigation lights, dash power, bilge pumps, etc. We've got chain counter for the windlass, which is a nice addition. Most importantly, we've got the joystick, which again will show you just how good that is. We've got the windscreen wipers and the screen wash as well, and then you've got your control panel and your VHF radio up here on the starboard side. As we head down to the cabins, you'll see we've got nice low-level lighting. We've got wider steps as well, and a grab handle we grab as we go downstairs, so it's nice and secure. We've got a nice large mirror, and starting off in the second cabin, totally redesigned. We've still got a nice big storage area just in here, but in the cabin itself, we've got upgraded mattresses, but you'll see under here, we've now got this central infill. So the central infill lifts up, the board comes out, so you can have this as two good sized singles, or as it is today in the big double. Coming on to one of the newly designed areas on board, which is a really, really good addition, and that's the heads. You'll see in here, we've got lovely large heads, but one of the biggest changes is now the Jack and Jill door, which allows you direct access from the owner's cabin. You'll see we've got a full-size shower in there as well. Right, into the main bit. So the newly designed owner's cabin. So we've still got an island berth, just like we had before. You probably remember before we had a wardrobe on the port side. That's now changed, so we've got the access for the Jack and Jill to the heads, which we just spoke about, and the wardrobe has been moved onto the starboard side. Again, we've still got these large aircraft lockers, which seem to be increased in depth now as well, and we've got a lot of light. You'll notice here this is slightly lower. Now the ceiling height here, I'm just over 6 foot and still got good seating height, but this is just to allow for the drop down front deck and recessed sun pad area. We've got a large skylight under there, and on the port side another lifting hatch. And if we pop this away, you'll see, I'll just lift this up, you'll see we've got a really nice new skylight, letting plenty of light in from up here as well. The bed still lifts up, got all our paperwork and covers for the seats under there, but you can see again, offers plenty of storage. And the bed extends out to allow for the infield cushion, which is up there at the moment, to pop into the middle and really extend the bed out. Final part, which is the third cabin. Now, the third cabin certainly feels slightly wider than it was before. We've still got the second fridge in there, which I mentioned earlier, and underneath is a good sized storage locker. The cabin itself is a really good sized single or a smaller double, but it does also couple us somewhere to store all the canopies, cushions, etc. When you need to. You'll notice there's a little hatch up here, and that is just simple access to behind the dash. We're now going to head up onto the Flybridge, newly designed fly. We'll talk you through up there, and then we'll just show you how good the visibility is from there. Fire up and take her off the berth. I will just mention that you'll notice the decking is bare at the moment. Now, a lot of people are moving away from teak because of the maintenance with teak. A lot of people oil it, it's a big debate, or you scrub it. Now, the best option, if you want an easy life, is a synthetic teak, such as Flexi Teak. So we leave our decks blank so we can offer a customer exactly what you want in terms of decking, colour schemes, corking colours, things like that. So to access the fly, we have got this hatch, which we can close. Now to open it up, nice and easy handle, and it's just on the latch. So spring-loaded latch, which will open her up and we'll pop up. So up on the fly then, so you can see it's a bit more spacious than it was before. These handrails make you feel really secure. We got the fly table, which is removable, and this seat is still reversible, so we can flick that, so you can have all your passengers facing forwards. So there's facing forward seats here, really for 5 people up on the fly, or a couple more. We've got this large area here, so we can put some extra sun pad in there if required. And then coming onto the dash. So to fire up, we've got the power button you must have on here. And then we've got the start-stop button, which starts both the engines together, or we have individual here. You must have the kill cord in to start, so fire up the port engine, fire up the starboard. Now, what you can see from up here is just how good our visibility is. So when you're coming into berth, especially in tight areas, you've got excellent viz all the way around. You can see what your crew are doing with the ropes, and it's a really, on daylight day, it's just a lovely place to be. So we just engage the joystick. Now we'll just come over slightly to move us away from the pontoon, quite literally pushing the joystick to the side. And then we're in quite a narrow area here. So we can either spin round, which will be really tight, or we can reverse, come astern, all the way out. We've got tide coming out, so it's an ebb tide, which is flowing away from the pontoon. So traditionally, it would be very, very hard to berth onto that pontoon. Just unless you had a bow and a stern thruster, you just can't get that sideways action. So what we'll do now is we'll head back in and we'll use the joystick to berth us right alongside. So the great thing about the joystick is it gives us 360-degree manoeuvrability. So as we come in now, we can go forwards and twist it, which will turn us to port. But it also gives you very good stopping power as well when you need it. So because of the tide and the wind, which are both working together, we have to come in at a bit of an angle. And the beauty with the joystick is, what we can do is we can come forwards in the middle here, and right about now, what we can do is we can go astern, put the brakes on, and then what we're going to do, you see we've got a good gap to the pontoon, so we can just bring the boat sideways now. So if you watch this, we can bring her right onto the berth. And simply, then your crew can just step off and get the lines done for you. Or if you're quick enough, you can run down and do it yourself. Okay, so now we're away from the berth. What we can do, we don't need the joystick necessarily anymore. We do have a few other features on there we haven't run through yet, but we've got stay point, which is a good one. So if you're coming in, it's all going a bit wrong, or you're waiting for a lock, you press stay point, the boat torques the satellites, and then it holds its position. So it'll adjust to the wind and the tide, and the boat will stay where you are. It even gives you time to go around, get the fenders and lines repaired before you head into berth up. To come out of the joystick, we've got the controls here. Now we can press the joystick button and disengage it, or we can just pop one of the engines into forward gear, and that will put us into forwards. Now, on our dash up here, we've got the same display as we got down below, the Yamaha CL5, and we've got a smaller chart plotter, which is a 9-inch Garmin GPS map. Again, shares all the same data. The engines are linked through it, so you can have your engine data on the screen, or you can have like what we got now, which is our chart. We've got bow thruster control and trim tab controls up here as well. So now we're out the marina. It's quite windy out here today, so just for the sake of filming the video, what we'll do is we're going to change controls and go down to the lower helm. Now, obviously, when you go down to the lower helm, you have to change station as well. The great thing about this Yamaha system is changing station, again, is very, very simple. Once you're in neutral, then you can head downstairs. Okay, so we made it down to the lower helm now. Now we've got to take control. So we've got a little button on the Yamaha controls here. It says station. Now all we do is we press station, and that's it. Controls transferred now from the upper helm to the lower. So pop these into forward, and then we'll head out to sea. Coming out of Brightlingsea Creek today, we're roughly doing about 5 knots at the moment, so we can pop that back just into idle gear, which will slow us down to around 3 knots. Now, we've got our chart plotter fired up, showing us the overlay of the chart, and this boat is equipped with AIS receive as well, so you often get AIS targets come up, which tells you the location of other boats which are equipped with AIS, and if they're on a collision course with you. Useful information on this chart plotter. We've got the depth in the bottom left, we've got speed in the top left, we've got our GPS heading and GPS position. Now the plotter is so easy to control because whenever you want to go somewhere on the plotter, you press the home button. We've got sonar scan of the seabed, which gives us a really clear overview of the seabed underneath us, any undulations, and there's a fish finder as well. We've got combination, so we can split the chart and the sonar, and then we've got vessel data as well, so we can control our stereo system, our Fusion audio through here. We can control our autopilot through here, and the other thing we can control is we can control our engines through here. So we've got the engine data on here, we've got engine voltages, you can see our trim position on the left hand side there. The F signals both engines are in forwards, so if I pop one to neutral, we'll get an N on there, and an R for reverse. And then at the top of the screen, you'll see we've got our fuel flow, so we're burning 8 litres roughly at the moment, and we've got our fuel economy up there as well. Just coming out of 4 knot speed limit into an 8. Now, we've got a blowy day today, we're gusting around 17 to 20 knots, and you can see we've got wind over tide as well, so it makes it a little bit lumpy out here, but you can already feel the boat's nice and stable, exceptionally quiet inside as well with the rear door shut. Again, beauty of outboards, 5-year warranty on the engines, but they are so much quieter than inboard engines and a lot less vibration as well. So just coming out the 8 knot speed limit, and what we'll do before we bring her up on the plane is we'll pop the engines back into neutral. Reason for that is at the moment they're independently controlled. On the right hand side we've got a button called single lever. Now if we press that and get rid of the starboard engine controller, combines both engines onto the port stick. So now they'll run at the same RPM. You'll get a nicer sound because there won't be a harmonic imbalance between the engines, and it's just much nicer for cruising. Now we're going to put the hammer down and see how she performs. So we're already 15 knots, now 20, 30 knots, and it's not a calm day today. So we've got wind over tide, now up to 38 knots. and she will just touch 40 knots. So we'll bring her back down to cruising speed. So nice cruising speed, around 25 knots. Now we're going to bank her into a port turn. So she handles absolutely lovely. You've got great visibility, very stable in the turn, nice and easy to control. The steering's lovely, very light at steering. You can adjust the resistance in the settings, but to give you some idea, you can do the whole lot on one finger. You can adjust your lock to lock, and we close this side door. It is super quiet inside. Again, there's a big benefit of the outboards. Now we're cruising along now at 24 knots. Now at this speed we're roughly burning 75 litres an hour. So she's quite efficient for a boat of her size, and 600 horsepower. As you can feel, she's nice and stable. And I can only tell you just how responsive the boat is as well. The hull's definitely an improvement on the Series 1. You can feel as you're going along, you don't so much get a slamming effect. It really rides the waves quite nicely, even in a direct head seat. So we've got a very short chop. You can see out the window that we're going with it now, but you can see that, yeah, it's not a calm day. And then we're going to pop her into the starboard turn. There we go, we'll put the power on, bank around. You feel the hull really grips the water as we come round. And we drop her back, so she's just on the plane. So with this new hull design, we plane much earlier and we can hold the plane as well. So we're doing 14 knots here, and you can see we're just coming on the plane at 14 knots. And actually, at this speed, we can hold on the plane as well, which is a really nice improvement over the Series 1, which really had to be around 20 knots to sustain planing. Obviously you can see we're up on the fly. We're cruising along now at 20 knots, so we've got a really comfortable cruise speed. Now, it's just a really nice place to be. Amazing visibility all around you. Great place to have guests, family and friend up here as well. All of you can be facing forwards. It's super comfortable all the way up to 40 knots. It's a nice and stable boat. It's stable in the turns. And we'll just bring her off the plane as we're coming back to the 8 knot speed limit. So now we're out here, so it's quite a rough day, but we've got the drop down terrace. So if you're at anchor, it's really nice. You could drop this down. So just a button that we press, and you can see that will lower down now. And you can see with the terrace all the way down, it really opens up your rear cockpit here. So it gives you a really nice big space. And that's a quick walkthrough guide and tour of the brand new Mary Fisher 1095 Fly Series 2. So around £350,000, fully specified, including VAT. She's got 6 berths in 3 cabins, an additional option for 2 berths in the saloon, diesel heating, large sun pads, full array of electronics, bow thruster and joystick. So she's really well specified. Around 40 knots is the maximum speed, and just a really well presented boat and an excellent upgrade from the Series 1. And I'm Ollie from Morgan Marine. Thank you for your time.